What's poppin', what's poppin', what's poppin'? This is MJ333, you feel me? And I'm tapping back in for another day with another message. I already know how we do. I come through when we need to come through, okay? So, hope that you woke up feeling happy, healthy, wealthy, beautiful, wonderful. Like you that person, okay? No matter what, you that person. Remember that. Write it down, stamp it. You that person each and every day in each and every way, okay? Boom. Message. So, y'all know how I constantly come on here when I got something to give, right? When I'm learning and I'm healing and I'm growing and I am wanting to give that to you too, right? So that we can continue to heal together, because this is how we raise the vibration of the planet, is by when you learn something, teach that to the next person so that they, can bypass a lesson, go straight forward, right? Because that's your job. Once you learn the mission, you do the job. You feel me? So boom, here we go. This is going to be a little deep. Trigger warning for anybody who has dealt with domestic violence, anger, things like that. This going to be a story about coming back from that, okay? My oldest son, yes, I have an older son, and he's in his 20s, and he called me yesterday, right? And he said some things. And I want to share that with you because it was like a breakthrough, okay? So my oldest son and I have had a very, I want a complicated relationship. And it was all due to me. It was all because of me and my trauma and the pain that I felt. And what I didn't understand is that inadvertently, I was passing my pain, my trauma, my anger, my sadness onto my children. Now, the first one was 5 years older than my other two. So he's 5 years older than the second one and 8 years older than the third one. So like we've been together for a while, and I had him at 21, and I had just left my parents' home after my whole entire life of abuse. I never healed. I never went and got help. I never learned other ways to cope. I just was angry. Now, he called and he said this. This is what he said, 23-year-old. He just started to talk, and I just listened, right? Back 4 years ago, I would not have been able to hear this. I would not have been able to take this, and I would have lashed out. And it would have stung him because of me and my feelings. Because I couldn't hear this, because it hurt back then. Now it was freeing, right? It freed me because I got to hear it from someone else, right? He said, when I was young, I was so angry. I was so mad. I hated you. I hated the world. I hated everybody, everything. And it had everything to do with how we were living. Now, again, I said, I came from a domestic violence background. My stepdad wasn't the greatest to me. Then every relationship after that was abusive. So I never had a chance to be in a healing relationship, and I was not able to heal because I did not know what that looked like. So the unhealthiness of me passed that on to him. So he said that like he got into a lot of fights I knew nothing about. He was getting into trouble. People were threatening to harm him. He never told me these things. And I said, like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, because I didn't like you. Like, you were my mom, but like I didn't like you. Like I really did not like you, and I didn't talk to you. I didn't know that. See, we got into an argument, and he did something that showed me, like he tried to harm me in a way, but it was a cry for help. So that cry for help allowed me to see that my son needed me in a different capacity. And no, I had not healed through my shit yet. But because I saw myself in my child, I started to do the best that I could. And I started to find a way through the muck. I got a vision one day in my sleep. My grandfather came to me in my sleep. That was my very first encounter that I can remember. And it was very life-changing. He said that I was going to need domestic violence help. So when I'm giving you the backstory so that the rest makes sense, he said, you're going to need a lot of domestic violence help. You need counseling. You need help, right? So when I woke up, I had a trajectory. I did what he said, looked up the domestic violence hotline. Now, at this time, my son was in a place to get his mental together, right? I had to voluntarily commit him somewhere so that he could sit down and start to get some help, which I was never offered at that age. I needed that, just like he did. But nobody had the strength to do that for me because, you know, in the Black community, in my community, I come from a small town. If your family member or anyone in your family has to go to the hospital, to the doctor's office, to the therapist or whatever, it's considered crazy. You know, it's a bad vendetta on the family. So don't nobody want to send their kids to get no therapy back in the days. You know what I'm saying? I'm born in 81, child of the 90s. You hear me? So didn't nobody want to do that because that was stating that there was something wrong with us, right? Taking him there actually changed me because I was able to start looking other places because I had to drive far to go see him. He was in a bigger city. He was in Philly, and I'm from a small city, Reading. So I had to drive on the highway. I had to open up myself. Boom, message right there, right? That's one of the messages. When something happens and it actually changes the trajectory of your life, that is a life-changing moment. My son, sometimes we think that bad things, like things that are happening that are difficult, complicated things, are really sent because we did something wrong or for the worst, but it actually started to help my family, right? It started to help me set myself apart from the pain, but I didn't know that that's what I was doing. So we moved to a smaller town. So when he came out of the placement, he was only there for like 3 weeks, but when he came back, we came back somewhere else. He went to a smaller place, not as much violence, and I could actually figure us out a little bit better. Not saying that the drama didn't stop. I still was in bad relationships, right? So at this time, he started to change, but he was mean. He was very upset. What he said about that time was that what started to change him was that he met a friend that he could bounce his ideas off of. Like, if I go and do this, what you think? He like, nah, nigga, like, if you go do that, you ain't never gonna play in the NBA. So it was like having a friend that would hold him accountable, that he could talk to, that wasn't me, helped. And then I want to say 4 years later, a few years later, like we got into a really bad situation again, and he left. And he didn't talk to me for a while. Like a year. But in that year, he was fixing it. He was working on himself, you know, as I was working on myself. And I moved from the state that I'm from all the way to where I'm at. And I started to get that healing that I was talking about, that domestic violence healing that my grandpa said I needed. It found me. And ever since then, I've been on a different kind of a journey. But the reason why I'm mentioning all that is because my children's journey was attached to mine. So if I hadn't made certain moves in my life, even if I was afraid, he would have never changed. So he just kept saying yesterday, like, I was so angry, like I had this heat, like I was just so mad. He said I had wrath, I wanted to harm people, and because like I couldn't harm them, I would harm myself. That really hit me, right? But see, this is when I knew I was healing. Like, a bitch was like, yo, I had to pray the whole time. I'm thanking God because I can sit through this. I can listen to him, not judge him. And it made me look at myself and be able to put into words what I was going through. See, we think that because we're parents that we don't owe them an explanation, or we owe them nothing but like what we're supposed to do for them. But that is a part of what you're supposed to do. We're not supposed to give them a life that they have to heal from. We're supposed to give them something to aspire to, and we're supposed to be their guides. And I have been that, even though I was guiding us, yes, they were initiated. He was initiated into my pain, right? Because I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't even want to look at that shit because it was too many years of it. It was hurt. It was pain. I didn't want to look at that. But because I couldn't look at it, my son went right into my pain, bro. Like right into it. When I needed to be a mother, I couldn't articulate correctly. All I did was yell. I did not give them space to ask me the correct questions. I didn't give them space to validate. I never validated their feelings because mine were never validated. I was never like given space to just be myself. I was shut down. I was constantly quieted up, and I was like, you know, yeah, you just got beat, but sit your dumb ass down. You deserve that shit. Like, sit down and shut up. Next time, be quiet. This is what I went through for my life. And I'm not saying that the parenting that I got was incorrect. What I'm saying is someone had to stop parenting that way. And I had to be the one who had to do it. And the reason was because I saw what I was doing to my son. And at that time, I didn't know how to get out of it. So God started doing things. My mom passed away. I was in a relationship that almost killed me. He almost killed me. I saw my life flash. I think at that point, when I lost my mom, then he almost killed me. That's where my pain, like, I looked at it. I was looking at myself then. And then hearing my son and not hearing my son, he wouldn't talk to me. I started to have to deal with my shit. Like, I had to mirror myself and be like, yo, bro, like, all right, today's the day. This is the time I'm hurt and I'm finna deal with this because I'm not going to let another generation come in. Mind you, I got 2 younger kids and I'm not going to do this to them. I don't want them to hate me. I don't want my oldest son to continue to hate me. I don't want to hate myself because I never was given space to heal. Yeah, things are going to happen to us, but the space is needed to heal. You need to have supportive people who are willing to be there to help you with that, hold you when you need to be held, listen to you when you need to be listened to. In our community, it's not always given. So we got to be the ones that do it now. We have to, or we're going to be breeding more children that are out here harming people, wanting to harm themselves, and filled with wrath and pain and hatred, because it's levels to pain. It starts as sadness. Then you feel the pain of it. Then you just get fucking mad. Then after that, you just angry. Like anybody coming in your path, like you shooting them down if they not on your level. And at the same time, sometimes you don't even want to hear the goodness. You don't want to hear what's right, because you can't really hear that. All you hear is pain. Like when people are talking, the pain is talking back. It's not you, it's the pain. So you have to go through the levels of breaking down that wall and saying, okay, I'm not hiding from myself anymore. I have to look at me. And I can't blame it on my mom. I can't blame it on my dad. I can't blame it on no one else anymore, because now this is my shit. Now I'm holding on to something that I need to release, and I have to figure out how to do that. And so I just want you to know that, like, if you are working on yourself and you have children and maybe you have not been the person that you wanted to be as a parent, I promise you, you won't be that person if you continue to work on yourself, and your children will get to where they need to go in themselves, and then they'll bring what they have to you and show you what they've went through. And because of what they went through and them being able to articulate it, it will help you articulate your pain too. Because when I tell you I felt free yesterday, I don't want to cry. I felt free. For the first time in 40 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, this last 4 years have been so transformative for me. And it doesn't feel good all the time. But on the inside, I'm happy. For the first time, I can say that I'm not harming my children anymore. I'm not mean. I'm not mad anymore. I have no pain inside that I need to constantly work on or move around, so I'm not hurting people. I still deal with my trauma. And I still get upset. I still yell sometimes. So I have to constantly work on that. But this is a constant work, y'all. It's a work. It's a work in progress. But I'm not sitting in it no more. I ain't sad anymore. Them tears you just seen, those are tears of happiness, yo. Because I went through so many years hating myself. And because of that, my children hated themselves too. Because of me. And I didn't want to be the problem anymore. Now I'm the solution. And now I listen, I help, I hold space where no space was ever held for me. And that doesn't make me sad. It makes me feel invigorated. It makes me feel on top of the world and mature, because I'm doing things that my mom couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing things that she couldn't do, that she didn't know how to do. I'm the one, right? She fed me. She fed me love. She gave me what she had. You understand what I'm saying? We give what we can give when we can give it. But what I'm saying is, can you hold some space to get some more? I want you to break down that wall. And if you're breaking down that wall and you have to listen to people telling you how you hurt them or whatever you went through, I want you to take a breath. And I want you to actually really acknowledge where you're at. If you're able to handle that, go on ahead, because they ain't going to do nothing but free you. It's going to help you see you in a different light. Because after all of this, my son is getting ready to play, you know, in I won't say the NBA right now, but at some point my son will be playing in major leagues. He is on his way. I never thought that would be possible where I was at. I knew it would happen, but I knew that there were a lot of things that had to happen before us to get there. it was a lot of shit we had to unravel, and we still unraveling things. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have our matriarch here physically. So because of that, I have to do as much as I can the work on the inside to mother myself, to bring out that mothering energy for them too, like from my mom. Like, and say the things I knew she would say and the things that I knew she wouldn't say. You know, and that she might have been afraid to tackle. Can't be afraid to tackle the hard shit. Because when you deal with the hard shit, when you deal with the hard stuff, listen now, and you free up some space for the good shit. Life is supposed to be lived well and out loud. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to put all that shit to rest. You understand? And just keep on moving, right? Like, just keep on going, baby. Like, listen, my angel, this is not an easy task. But it's harder to sit in that pain for the rest of your life and continue to drain yourself, drain other people, not be able to live up to your fullest potential, which is what we're here for. So now I know that I will have grandkids one day that won't be sad, that father will love them, will have the space to love them in a way that he couldn't be loved by his own father, and some also by me. Like, you know, we're going to heal them spaces so that when he becomes a father, there will be no damage done to my grandchildren because of me. You hear me? It's your job, bro. Like, sis, it's your job to fix any inadequacies that you are passing on to your children, to your mom. Like, look, to your little seeds. They seeds. You got to plant them in the world. What kind of flower you want to see, sis, bro? Like, don't matter what flower you are. What flower you want them to be? Because, see, my love for my children helped me heal. My love for my children get me up every single day to do this work. My love for my children, my love for myself, my love for my God, my love for my mother for giving me this life keeps me going. And I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad about none of the things we went through, because without that, I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be able to talk to you about this hard shit. I wouldn't have been able to feel what I felt yesterday. That was a breakthrough. That was a breakthrough, y'all. Something I never thought I'd see or feel. So I hope you got something out this message, right? Drop me a line, you know what I mean? You want to holler at me? Like, let's have a conversation. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you to everybody who likes, shares, comments, subscribes, views my joint. You feel me? I'm sending you blessings, love, hug if you need one, positive energy, always. Positive healing energy. Because a lot of us out here trying to be like everybody else. I just want you to be like you. I want you to figure that out. I love authenticity and genuine people, man. Let's do that, sis. Let's be us. Let's be who we are. Through all the pain and everything, you still someone special, and I want you to know that that pain did not fucking drain you. It just made you into something better. And I want you to see that for yourself, right? All right, later. I love you. Take care of yourself. Keep your head up. Go outside and get you some air. Even if it's raining, get you an umbrella, something. Get you some fresh air. Make sure you're eating healthy, drinking your water. Okay, you drink that water, y'all. Drink your water. I love you. Later.